Hi, everybody. Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for joining Voltars 46. I hope you can all hear me. All right, great. This is Voltars 46. This is our monthly event where we cover everything from new product enhancements, new features, cool happenings at Bitwarden. Um, and things of that nature, case studies, news, hot topics, anything of that nature. We also give our users an opportunity to come on stage and talk and tell us about how they are using Bitwarden, anything exciting, any questions they have. Welcome everyone. Everyone's coming in from pretty far and wide, so excited to have you on board. I am Nasser Khan. I'm a product marketing manager over here. With me, I have Ryan, Casey, Chris, Sai, Shelby, and if I missed anyone, Adam. And we have a special guest today, Max Powers. He's our product manager, and he's going to touch a little bit on Authenticator a little later. So I see we have someone from Poland. Hi there, Dominic. Sai's in Michigan. Again, I'm in the Bay Area and it's super freezing today, and it's going to be storming. So exciting day, I guess. Our agenda, we're going to start off with talking about inline autofill password generation. I think this is a pretty cool, nifty capability that's just come up, especially for people like me who are getting new logins and want a really cool, complex type of password auto created for you. Ryan says it's 67 in Texas, which is rare. It's usually 90s over there. The second part of the agenda is gifting Bitwarden. It's the holidays, so nothing better than giving the gift of security. I wish someone had given me Bitwarden much earlier. It's made my life a lot easier. So Sai will be touching on that later on and how you can do that for your friends and family. We have the Bitwarden Authenticator overview. So I have Max who's going to be touching on this in a little bit. And then we have a really cool case study that Chris is going to talk through around Cybernet managed services provider of the quarter. So if you're an MSP, you're attending, this would be a good one to hear. Or you just want to learn about how customers are using this, what are the outcomes. This would be a really, really good one to listen to. And then we go to questions from the community. I'll cover some of those and updates from Bitwarden. And someone says it's 40 in Columbus. I don't know how I could survive there. I'm originally from Africa, where I'm used to 80 degrees. So, all right. With that, I want to give an opportunity to anyone in our audience. Feel free to join on screen. If you have any questions, you have any comments, you just put in the comment on the chat bar. I have a live question and comment, and we'll welcome you. Or if you just want to post it over here, you're welcome to do that. So any questions from the audience? Audience, any comments from our team? Is everyone freezing? Okay, I'm gonna try and see if Max is there. He is. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going. I don't see anyone asking any questions. No one wants to come onto the main screen here. I give you one more chance. Nothing new to the current status of the beta browser extension. We'll touch on that unless you want to touch on that, Ryan.
I'll give an update later. We'll be going through all that.
Okay. So let's move on to Ryan on inline autofill password generation, and then he's going to touch on your topic later, Daniel. All Ryan, right. Over to you.
Thank you. You can hear me, correct?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, my little thing's not lighting up. There it is. All right. So inline autofill password generation. We talked about this the last couple of Vault hours. None of this is new, except we now have a new feature here, which is now when you are logging in or you're creating an account on a website and you don't have an item already in your vault, then the password inline autofill will recommend a password for you. You can see here the screenshot on the left, the generated password manager, and we're having a little bit of noise on our end. Maybe one of folks can mute themselves.
Yeah, they just did.
Um, thanks. So here I boosted my own audio a little bit. So now when you're creating an account for the first time, you can now use a generated password from the inline autofill password generator here. You see the little the icon here that has everything in there. This is based off of your browser settings that you might already have selected in the extension for your generator. So it's really super handy to generate a fast password, and then even better is that when you have clicked on it and you're ready to save it, you can add it as a new login, and that will automatically be added to your Bitwarden vault with the email added automatically, along with the generated password as well as the URL. So now it's even easier to create new accounts with Bitwarden. And we've also added some new settings for inline autofill. So now if you go into the settings for your browser extension and then to autofill, we have these two new items, these checkboxes here, display identities and display cards as suggestions. So if you would like to, you can turn these on or off so you have a little bit more granular control. I know that, for example, the identities has a lot of fields that Bitwarden might want to ask for, and if you find yourself encountering that more often than you would like, you can just simply turn that off here. So that's the new feature, and I believe is also rounds off the major modes of development for this feature too. So yeah, super exciting to have seen this go from an idea all the way to its full maturity here.
Thanks, Ryan. Can someone just mute their mic, please? I think there's a lot of background noise on our side. All right, moving along. Thanks, Ryan. I wanted to touch a little bit about gifting Bitwarden. I mentioned this earlier. It's the holidays, so you might want to gift Bitwarden to a special somebody, a family member, a friend. And to talk you through that, I have Sai. Sai is on our technical marketing team. So Sai, over to you. Let's move Sai to the main stage here. Sai, we can't hear you.
I was just
No.
making a joke about being huge in comparison to the presentation.
Sorry.
All good, all good. Well, yeah, I wanted to talk about gifting Bitwarden. So with the holidays coming up, like you mentioned, if you want to move to the next slide here, Bitwarden is a great gift that you can use not only as a, hey, someone's got everything. Well, do they have a password manager, or you need a last minute gift for someone? Personally, I have found that this is a great gift for families. So if you've got any extended family, like, a sibling's family, or maybe, an in-law or something like that, this is great because on that next screen here, we've got a huge variety of different options to be able to give the gift of cybersecurity. So if you just want to talk to people about how they can be more secure and get them started, maybe you want to, get them in on the ground floor before you actually spend any money on it, you can let them know about Bitwarden's free account. So absolutely no cost. The premium account is also a great option. So whether you want to give them just a year's worth for $10, or you want to pay for the next 5 years for them, that makes a nice gift for an individual. And then for those families, so like I mentioned, if you've got, a brother or a sister with their own families, this can be great because that gives you not just one account, but you have 6 accounts with all the premium features. And it's less than everyone getting their own premium account individually. So it's a great way to get people's foot in the door and get them using Bitwarden. So it's really straightforward. You can send the recipient the payment, so whatever the cost is of the plan that you want them to use, and then just direct them to sign up for the suggested account. So we've got lots of great guides, and I'll highlight some of those a little bit later when we talk about some other assets that Bitwarden has for you. But it's just a really great way to not only give a gift, but also to grant them something. It's a little bit less tangential of giving them some peace of mind in their cybersecurity. So good
Thanks,
question.
Sai. Okay,
Sorry
go
about
ahead. I
that.
think that's for you. That question's
No
for you.
problem. Yep. Yes, you just follow the same process. So we'd again just recommend sending that recipient a payment via PayPal, and then they could use that funds that you share with them to upgrade or to get a brand new account, just depending on, whatever they're doing. But yeah, absolutely. All
Awesome.
right.
Any questions for Sai on the gifts, on gifting Bitwarden?
There's a
All right,
question in the
moving.
chat. There's a
Let's
question in the
see.
chat. Can you upgrade an existing account as a gift?
Yes, I just answered that one, I think. Sorry. Yeah, so as long as you share with them whatever that difference is, or that cost of either the annual, or like I said, if you want to go all out with the 5 year on the premium, just letting them know kind of what they have the option to do. So if they've got a free account today, you can absolutely use this for an existing account, or you can create one from scratch. Whatever works best for that person you're gifting it to.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sai.
Absolutely. All right, I think it's back over to
All
Ryan.
right. All right, no, it's over to Max. Max,
Oh, okay,
are you able to
perfect.
get on stage? We wanted to touch on the Bitwarden Authenticator overview, and for those who don't know, this is a new offering, a standalone offering we introduced in May of this year. It's pretty popular. We have Max to talk about it. Let me see if I can get him on over here. I see him, but I don't know how to get him on stage over here.
Am I not on stage already?
There you,
Can you hear me?
there you. Oh, I can hear you.
Okay,
There
I
you
think
go.
I've been on
Sorry,
stage the
I
whole
couldn't see
time.
you.
No worries.
I couldn't see you.
No worries, no sir.
Okay, awesome.
Wonderful. Yeah, hey all, I'm Max. I'm the product lead for Bitwarden Authenticator. I'm also working on Bitwarden Secrets Manager. We have some pretty exciting updates. Nasser, if you could just go to the next slide. So yeah, Nasser already introduced a bit about Authenticator. It's a free standalone app that makes it a lot easier for you to add multi-factor authentication. We added it mainly as a response because we have a lot of users in the community who prefer to keep things not all in one basket. So they want to have their MFA separate to their passwords, which makes total sense. And you can also use those to log in. Oh, you can't see me. That's unfortunate. I'm not sure. I have my camera on. I'm sorry for that. I'll share a JPEG pic with me when I'm done.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
App so far has been pretty basic, doing the very standard things an authenticator needs to do. So being able to scan a QR code and getting the TOTP codes. But we had a lot of community requests to extend that functionality, and we are starting with that now. We are adding icons for TOTP entries, which will make it a lot easier for you to identify the correct service or the correct TOTP token. And then we're adding a next code preview, and we are adding the favorites flow, and in general are improving the whole categorization so it's easier to access the codes you need. We're also working on some additional bug fixes around imports. A lot of users in the community had issues with the import functionality. So we're just adding some bug fixes and better error messaging, because for some of those import errors we were unable to replicate them. So we're hoping for more community feedback on what is going wrong. That's all from Authenticator.
Thanks, Max. Any questions? Does anyone have any input on Authenticator? Has anyone tried it? I think we have a question or a comment. Seeing this is from Oliver.
I wouldn't argue that it has any security impact. The main reason we're adding this is because, like, most of the websites where you're authenticating with your TOTP phrases, they actually accept the previous, the current, and the next code, simply because the timing can be off. Some are more, including us in Bitwarden, we always want the current code. If that is the scenario, sometimes you have to wait like 10 seconds before you can actually copy it because the window to copy and paste is not big enough, the time window. So adding the next code just makes it a lot easier for you, and you don't have to wait like these 10 or 20 seconds. And you have a little bit more time to authenticate. There is no real security impact from a phishing perspective. You could argue that the window in which the phisher can reutilize and respin the TOTP token is a little bit extended, but as those phishers are typically fully automated anyways, for them it doesn't make a difference if you have like 10 seconds or 30 seconds, like full 30 seconds. Cloud storage and the backlog, very good question. So the first feature we are introducing already very soon in the coming weeks is being able to synchronize existing TOTP phrases in the that you already have in the password manager into the Authenticator app. So we have like a local sync which works locally on your device that is synchronizing all of the codes in password manager into the Authenticator. For cloud sync, for the time being, we have the device native cloud syncs. So that would be Google Cloud or Apple Cloud for each device. We are considering, or we are thinking about how we can do synchronizations with your Bitwarden account. But we have kind of the hen and egg issue here if you want to use the Authenticator app to log into your Bitwarden account. So we're still figuring out a solution that really makes sense. One thing we're also doing in the interim is improving the export functionality. So it's easier for you to export the existing codes you have and, for instance, even create paper backups for storage. Good question, Oliver. Definitely something we'll consider. If that's something that users like, I don't see any harm in adding that to the main app as well.
Awesome, thanks, Max. Any further questions on Authenticator? No, and we'll stay up a little longer after the call just in case you guys think of anything, or you can interject anytime and just put in a question into the chat. We'll be glad to answer. Thanks so much, Max. All right, moving along, we touched on this a little earlier. Maybe there's a question that just came in. Someone will answer that question, Laura. So just moving on to the Cybernet MSP of the quarter case study, I wanted to hand off to Chris so he can touch a little bit more on this. Customer has been using this product for their customers and what some of the outcomes have been. So Chris, over to you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Nasser. And also appreciate it, Max. I did not know all about the Authenticator, so I'll have to double check that out. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm Chris, relatively new here at Bitwarden, but happy to talk you guys through how an MSP is utilizing Bitwarden Password Manager. So for those who don't know, an MSP stands for Managed Service Provider, and it's just a company that oversees the IT admin for other companies. And we have a really good and healthy MSP program here at Bitwarden. So I'd like to share how Cybernet Evolution, an Australian IT service leader, is transforming their password management process with Bitwarden. Cybernet Evolution manages IT services for industries like automotive and sports clubs, and they face challenges with previous solutions like LastPass and MyKey. They faced licensing issues for the MSP service product and a discontinuation of another product that left them needing something as a secure, scalable, and user-friendly alternative. So they trialed a couple different products, and they chose Bitwarden for its simplicity, cross-platform capabilities, end-to-end zero-knowledge encryption, which really ensures that nobody, not even Bitwarden, has visibility inside their clients' vaults. Bitwarden also stood out as an open source product, and they love the transparency. So with Bitwarden, Cybernet Evolution achieved nearly 100% client adoption by offering personalized one-on-one trading and onboarding experiences. They also streamlined their password security with features like TOTP and MFA, improving security practices and operational efficiency across all of their clients. Looking ahead, Cybernet Evolution plans to further integrate advanced technologies such as passkeys utilizing Bitwarden and ensuring that their clients stay ahead of their digital security. So I really had a good time learning and getting to know this MSP provider. And if you want to learn more about Cybernet Evolution's journey, I'm going to drop the link to their case study in the chat shortly. Thanks, Saul.
Thanks, Chris. All right. If there are any other questions, if there's any questions, drop them into the chat for Chris. I'll go over to questions from the community now. So the first one we have comes from a Reddit user called Chiral Toad or Chiral Toad, and he says, I am trying to get my friends to use a password manager. For those who are not super savvy but use Apple products, should I just convince them to go all in on Apple Keychain or get them to use Bitwarden? So first and foremost, you can educate them on the importance of a password manager, especially one that works across platforms. So you can point them to this awesome blog over here that Ryan wrote about how to protect your family with a password manager. And really, it can apply to all your friends. And I'll share the link in a short while. Now, coming to why Bitwarden, it really starts with trust at the core, right? And you can read another really great blog by Vivian, and it is entitled "What Trust Means to Bitwarden." So, trust for Bitwarden means, a thriving community. We have millions of users upholding zero knowledge and end-to-end encryption across every product decision. In fact, when Kyle built the product, he built it with security first in mind. And then a commitment to security and really privacy via third-party audits. And of course, third-party validation. There is a reason Bitwarden is ranked at the top of password managers, whether it's on publications like CNET, the New York Times, Forbes, Wired magazine, and really many more. So those are just some of the reasons your friends, your family should consider a Bitwarden as their choice of password manager. Let me see if I can post some of these links that I just have over there. There we go. Any questions on that before I move on? I just posted those links over there. All right. Let's see. The next question comes from a user called Token Bearer, and he asks, what is the ATA for the SSH agent? And he also asks about some basic developer features. So for the SSH agent, and this is something we get quite a bit of, asked a lot from IT managers especially, what I will say is that it is in QA testing, and it should be coming up live very, very soon. And just for some context, SSH stands for Secure Shell. So it's like this network protocol that allows for a secure remote access to a computer over the a secured network. So while SSH keys are a pair of cryptographic keys, which are public or private, used to authenticate a user when connecting to a remote server, especially in today's remote work environments. This is a really big deal for IT teams. So managing SSH keys is really complex because it really requires securely storing private keys. You want to avoid accidental leaks and really having to manage multiple keys across devices. So the Bitwarden SSH agent will streamline this process by integrating this SSH key management directly into your Bitwarden vault. And this will allow you to securely authenticate to remote servers and really seamlessly manage your Git workflows. Again, without having to compromise on ease of use and really maintaining maximum security. So this is a feature, again, as I mentioned early on, many IT teams tend to request a lot of. And additionally, if you want to check out some of the developer offerings that we have, that Bitwarden has, you can go to the developer page, www.bitwarden.com/developers, where you will find links to documentation for each of the offerings, including the SDKs and APIs, and in more information across the Bitwarden portfolio, whether that's Password Manager, Secrets Manager, where we have a free 7-day trial, and also passwordless.dev. So if you are looking to build passwordless authentication into your services, if you're a developer, you want to test out, or a hobbyist, you want to test out passkeys and passwordless development, you can go check that out as well. Any questions? I don't see any questions, so I will continue. So there is a question from a user called, this is a Reddit user, Easton Mamluk, I hope I'm saying that correctly, about whether it is safe to store credit card information on Bitwarden. So they're just worried, could someone explain to me how it stays safe? I do have 2FA, mostly use Bitwarden app and extension. So credit cards are encrypted the same way as everything else in your vault. Not even the name of the bank is in plain text. So the answer is yes, it is safe to store your credit cards information in Bitwarden. And then next, your vault is encrypted. So the encryption is driven by the master password, which you alone have. So you want to make sure you store your master password carefully, and you use two-factor authentication, of course. So taking a step back, Bitwarden was, as I mentioned earlier, built up ground up using security-first principles like zero-knowledge encryption, which really ensures that only the end user has access to their encryption keys and data. So keeping sensitive information private and secure from external or internal access. So again, this eliminates the risk of anyone accessing your data, unauthorized access, and that could involve someone even at Bitwarden. So if someone was to get access of that database, they're not going to be able to see any information because it's all encrypted. And again, this touches on an earlier point I had. This enhances trust and compliance with whichever stringent privacy requirements and standards that are out there. So the vault is encrypted using something called a standard called AES-256 encryption, which is, again, it's an unbreakable industry standard. And a longer run of this is PBK-DFT SHA-256, SH-256, to derive the encryption key from the master password. So by adhering to these end-to-end encryption principles, where only you as the end user have access to your decryption key, Bitwarden achieves what we call a robust zero-knowledge architecture. And let's go back. I skipped. If you are interested, you can read this Bitwarden zero-knowledge encryption white paper, which details how this methodology is implemented. I can share it here really quickly.
I jumped ahead of you.
Yeah, thanks.
Already got it.
Thanks, Ryan. All right, moving along, the next question. Another Bitwarden user from Reddit had a question about whether one should use two password managers. So does it make sense to save your passwords on two password managers instead of just one in case you lose access to one of them, especially if 100% of your passwords are generated so you don't have them memorized? So the simple answer here is that you want to avoid this kind of inconvenience, in my opinion. The correct approach is to create periodical backups of your vault. So Bitwarden allows users to download their vaults as a backup, or to migrate passwords to another vault. The backup includes everything like usernames, your passwords, URIs, and other details that are in a human readable format. So since it contains plain text credentials, it's very critical for you to secure the file to prevent any unauthorized access. So what you'll need is a storage medium, a formatted storage medium, like a USB drive, access, of course, to a Bitwarden vault for export, a secure place for storing those passwords, and an encryption and decryption tool for additional protection. For example, there's a software out there called Veracrypt. You should check out. They have really cool tutorials. And there is a comprehensive guide on the topics of backups that you can check out. How to create and store a backup of your Bitwarden vault. I can share that link. Give me a sec. Any questions? I don't see any questions from the community. All right. So updates from Bitwarden. Over to you,
All right, we got a
Ryan.
couple of these. I'll update the first two here. First, the native mobile apps update. This has been a hot topic in the community, and the I guess like the overview is iOS is fully rolled out for the new native mobile app for Apple. So everyone who has an Apple device should be on the new native iOS app. Now, the Android native app, a couple of weeks ago, it was launched, but at a 10% limited rollout, so that the team could handle any issues that might have come up in the first rollout. And there have been a couple of bugs that we have promptly squashed. And there is a new version going out this week that will come out to the 10% users. So either this week or early next week, those users are going to start seeing version 2024.11.6 hit their phones. During that week, it is Thanksgiving week in the U.S., and so many folks will be out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week. So following Thanksgiving, we will be ramping that up to 100%. So yeah, you're going to see, yeah, .6. Yeah, there've been a few persistent issues that have been a little bit difficult to solve. So yeah, .6 is coming out in just a few days to the users on the 10% rollout. If anyone is really curious and wants to get their hands on the native mobile apps before it comes to the Google Store for them officially, you can go onto the Bitwarden GitHub and grab the APK there. Okay, next slide. And here's an update on the browser redesign. The redesign preview that we've had for a little while. So we made a post about this a couple of weeks ago, where we had a preview available for users. We have an unlisted extension available in the Chrome web store. I'm posting the link here in chat. So if you want to see what we've been working on for the new user interface for the browser extension, you can download this preview. This preview version can exist alongside your current version. I would just recommend disabling one or the other as you're testing it out. And we put this out to about like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. We put this out to everybody in the community. I think it was just like a month ago. It's been a while. And we got a lot of feedback from that, and we are implementing a lot of that feedback. There was a follow-up post. Actually, you can see all the details in this Reddit thread that I'm posting here in chat. We got a lot of feedback, and we are decided to take the time to implement that feedback. So that's why it will be coming out next month. Is because we're taking time to implement this feedback and make sure everything is thoughtful and well polished. So really super excited for that. You're going to see this mid-month next month. But if you want to see a nearly full version of the preview, you can check out that first link that I sent there to the Chrome web store.
Thanks, Ryan.
Any questions about that? I know this was the topic that people were keen on. All right, great. And I'm sure we'll get some additional feedback on this.
There is a question.
Oh, I see that full dark mode OLED returned iOS app. This is, I guess we shouldn't be surprised, but this has been a big, a lot of feedback from the community on this one. The full dark mode for OLED specifically is a power saving feature, where it's like everything that's black is off. That is very good for applications that you are spending a lot of time in. For example, if you're just scrolling Reddit or going through your email, but it's not usually the most readable, legible. So when the team was going through readability, they're like, oh, well, users aren't going to be spending, hours and hours in their vaults. We'll just try to make this look more readable to most users, and we won't prioritize this for now. Turns out there's a lot of fans of that mode, full dark mode. And so the team is evaluating what it would take to implement a new theme. Creating themes is a little bit more complicated than just creating a palette. But yeah, so the team's working on it. Don't worry, they're looking at it.
Thanks, Ryan.
Great.
Next, we go to Bitwarden integrations. Casey, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So I wanted to make a nice little call out as well to a new addition to the Bitwarden website, this integrations page, right? That really what it does is it compiles all the integrations that we currently offer and makes it really easy to see them all in one view. Thank you, Nasser. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. And so for those who are not currently leveraging any integrations with Bitwarden, it really expands what's possible with Bitwarden, right? Allows you to integrate password management into the rest of your workflows and tech stack, whether that be onboarding, single sign-on, email alias generation. I personally use that all the time in my personal life. So essentially just making password management even more productive than it already is by leveraging some of these integrations. You can use out-of-the-box integrations, which Bitwarden has quite a few of, or you could also build your own integrations just by the nature of being open source and offering a open API and SDKs. It's really easy to build your own integrations or even leverage integrations that other people have built as well. So those third-party supported integrations. So previously, you could have found all this documentation on our different integrations offered by Bitwarden on the Help Center, but this new resource just makes it really easy to see it all in one consolidated view and also see some of the key integrations that third-party providers have also created for us. So I recommend checking it out. I will post the link in the chat so everyone can see it. And yeah, if you're either a personal user or an enterprise user, a business user, there are something for everyone.
Thanks, Casey.
That was it for me.
All right. Moving along, we go to the newsfeed and everything interesting that's been captured over the last month on interesting publications. Ryan, over to you.
Yeah, that's me. So we just changing our format up a little bit, where we're just gonna just quick overview of some things. A lot of the news articles about Bitwarden this last month has been about Bitwarden being the best free password manager for a lot of people. I would like to say we're also the best password manager, not just free. So compare apples to apples there. So yeah, lots of marks. We love seeing all that. And then also the one that's highlighted there, the number 2 item there from Fast Company, really has been about the passkey announcement. That's the passkey portability announcement that came out of the Authenticate conference, where Bitwarden and several other password managers and tech companies are working together to figure out a way to make passkeys exportable from and importable from one solution to another. So once we do that, and people aren't going to be blocked in or locked in to walled gardens, you're really going to see probably the use of passkeys really soar. So people have been excited about passkeys for a long time. I'm still excited about passkeys. They're so great. But they have been hampered by the limitation of not being able to export them, and that is now no longer going to be the case. So super excited. That's coming soon. And then on the next slide, there's one article I wanted to highlight since we didn't actually have a blog about it. We did just talk about integrations. But Nasser, can you move us to the next slide? Great. We did have an announcement about a whole bunch of somebody went through and updated all this for me. Thank you for putting in the logos, whoever that was. We've made an announcement about a lot of our enterprise integrations. So we did just talk about integration already, but like now we were able to highlight some additional things that we've done. For example, deployment through Microsoft Intune, which is a way to do managed devices, Rippling, Vanta, and then also Rapid7 for the integration that they built for SIEM tools, or SIM, depending on how you pronounce it. We just have a lot of different integrations out there that are really good for enterprises, and we have a lot of really, as we say here, comprehensive integration options. And as you can visit the integrations page that Casey posted in chat just a little bit back, and just really see the scale of everything that's there. It's really awesome.
Thanks, Ryan. Okay, moving along, our blogs. We usually write a lot of educational blogs and informational blogs over every month. So I'm going to hand it over to Chris to touch on some of the cool ones we've done over the last month. Chris, over to you.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Hey again, everybody. So the first blog article I'd like to cover is kind of piggybacking off of Ryan's earlier talk about inline autofill. And so this is just a blog that talks about inline autofill, and it goes over to securely create passwords directly in your browser and save them seamlessly. You simply select the password field, and the inline autofill menu will suggest a strong generated password to use. And this is really great, simple, easy, and just exactly what Bitwarden's all about. So yeah, that's that blog article. And the next one is the 5 best, yes, unlocking the future, unlock the potential, full potential of Bitwarden. And yeah, so these are some advanced tips for optimizing Bitwarden usage. The article covers adding custom fields of vault items, such as like password expiration dates, so you could keep up with when your password is up for expires, up for you need to put in a new password. Using folders and keywords to organize accounts and streamline access. And then using features like showing your password history in case you need to recall your previous password, and using Boolean fields to create checklists to further enhance your password management. For example, create a checklist to indicate that an account has 2FA enabled. So these are small adjustments that can really greatly improve your daily workflow with Bitwarden. Let's see, next one. The 5 best practices for password management. And so this article focuses on best enterprise password management techniques, including deploying a user-friendly password manager, such as Bitwarden, that your organization can easily use. Use strong, unique passwords or passphrases for every account. Only change passwords when you feel like you might have been compromised. Long gone are the days where you need to update your password every 3 months. As well as enable 2FA whenever possible. And then the next one, so insights from FIDO Authenticate 2024. So Nasser was at FIDO Authenticate 2024, and he wrote this blog about kind of what he learned, insights from that. Nasser, did you want to kind of go over this?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about this. So what we're seeing is in industry and the enterprise, there are some organizations that are quickly adopting passkeys for their users. And a good example is like Sony PlayStation, right? They're forcing it down their users. So if you play PlayStation, you'll notice that they're asking you to set up a passkey authentication. There's others that are taking a wait and see approach. They are testing on a smaller user base. And then what they're learning from that is there is some friction points in deployment, but there are improvements that are happening. And they predict that over the next year to 2 years, they're going to be have a fully fledged deployment of passkey authentication for their end users. Then there's state governments, right? Like the state government of Michigan, it has the largest government deployment of passkeys, and the adoption has been sky high, right? Skyrocket high. So people are loving the experience, quick logins, frictionless, right? They're able to once they're educated on how passkeys work, they're able to get onto systems much, much faster. The abandonment rates are much lower. So what I anticipate, and then there's the other the hyperscalers like Google, for example. Over the last 4 months, they've gone from 400 million passkeys deployed to 800 million, so 100% increase. The hyperscalers like Amazon and the Googles and the other large platform players like Apple are really pushing this the passkey strategy down users. So you'll notice when you're trying to log into services, there's always that option now. Hey, you want to try this with passkeys? So they're going to become ubiquitous. You're going to see them everywhere. I think the next year to 2 years is going to be a massive change. I use passkeys. I think the experience on a lot of sites needs to improve, and I think that's going to happen over the next couple of years. So great stuff that's happening around passkeys. I highly recommend that you at least go out and test it out. With regards to how Bitwarden supports passkeys, you can store your passkeys in Bitwarden, of course, in your vault. You can use it as 2FA to log into your vault. You can decrypt your vault with passkeys, and you can build password. We have an SDK called passwordless.dev, an offering where if you're a developer, you can go and build passkey authentication into your product. So if you're a hobbyist, you're a developer, go check it out on our developer page. Let me see if there's any questions here. Okay, I don't see any questions, but there are some. Maybe the team can try and respond to these, but we will move along over here. So I'm going to hand off to the technical marketing team. So help. Is it Shelby or Sai?
That one would be me.
Hi,
Yeah.
Sai.
So, hey, I did want to just highlight a couple of articles. So I know Nasser mentioned some of these improvements right towards the beginning of our Vault hours today, but one thing we have heard through the community and from our customers is wanting the ability to get more granular with permissions. So as was mentioned earlier, you can now choose if you want to autofill your logins, identities, and cards, or mix and match. So you don't have to have your identities or cards presented to you in your autofill or your drop downs if you don't want to. And on the more enterprise or business side of the house, you can now decide with your collection management if you want your admins and owners to be the only ones who can create collections separate from, do you want them to be the only ones who can delete collections? So we split up that permission to allow you to let your users create their own collections, but keep that deletion process just to your admin team if needed. And I will drop those links in the chat here. And then if you want to move on to the next slide there. So in learning, this kind of rolls back to my topic earlier about gifting Bitwarden, but did you know that we have getting started guides for every skill level and subscription? So we've got a cool filter on the right-hand side of our learning page, and that will allow you to directly send any kind of guides or point people in the right direction, let them watch video content or read through some of these quick guides. And we've got that for all the different plans and roles, whether you're a user or an admin. So I just wanted to highlight that. It's a great kind of hand in hand with not only can you gift that particular plan, but you can also share some resources for exactly how to get started with that plan. Then over to
community.
Shelby. Yep, that's me. Next slide. Perfect. So one of the things that makes Bitwarden great is our community. So whether you're just getting started or are a seasoned power user, there's a space for everyone to engage, learn, and contribute. The Bitwarden communities are made up of casual users, Bitwarden employees, developers, and everybody in between. So we encourage everyone to check them out. If you haven't joined, now's the perfect time. Lots of good conversations in those communities. All right. Bitwarden thrives on collaboration, and there's a lot of ways that you can make an impact while being a part of our community. And every contribution, big or small, helps us grow and empower more users. So whether that's with Crowdin and helping with localization, or answering questions on the forum, or code contributions, everything helps make our products better. So check that out. And if you're interested in joining the Bitwarden team, you can check out our current openings on this slide or on the careers page. And if you don't see something that you're interested in, you can use the general interest form at the bitwarden.com/careers page and get in touch. And we'd love to hear from you. Bitwarden has a lot of really great events coming up to help you dive deeper into our platform and learn new skills. Every Wednesday, we have a product deep dive. There will not be a session this next week on the 27th due to the holiday, but we will resume on the 4th of December. We have the MSP demo for the MSP folks. December 12th is the next session.
And then every month we have a Bitwarden Brilliant session where our technical team goes in-depth training for special topics. There's previous sessions recorded on Twitch, and then the next session will be December 19th.
All right, thanks, Sai and Shelby. One more thing, and if you have any questions, please feel free to keep posting them on over here. I think there was a question from Bert. And Ryan, you want to take that one? Any updates on sharing items directly from the vault or backing up on off attachments?
Hey, so yeah, so backing up of attachments, not at this time. Actually, not at this time is also the same for the other one too. Sharing items directly from the vault, we were doing some work on that with individual item level encryption. That some of that work has been paused for some other encryption updates that we had been doing. So it's definitely still on our list of things that we're looking at. Some of the technical feasibility of it with our architecture is really where some of the limitations are, but we're working through it. Don't you worry.
Thanks, Ryan. So our store giveaway, this is the final thing. We have a raffle. You go to bitwarden.com/shop. We have some really, really cool items, and you have an opportunity to get a gift card. So if you visit bitwarden.com/shop, you fill out the contact form. And say you heard about the giveaway during Vault Hours 46, and this you submit this form within the next 24 hours. You have a chance to win. Of course, there's no repeat winners. We have a list that we maintain, so we know who won last time, and you will be notified by email if you win. So your chances are pretty good if you fill this form and submit. So do take a look at that, and then I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who attended, to our community, and to our speakers.